Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice. Welcome everyone to Angel Heart Radio. You are our focus. We want you to know that you matter in the world and that you're important to the world. We're here to remind you of just how valuable and needed you are right now. Help us to help others. If you like what you hear, tell your friends, post, tweet, pin, let everyone know how amazing Angel Heart Radio is. So again, welcome to Angel Heart Radio. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is sponsored by AngelLight777.com.
Welcome everyone, it's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer. I am so delighted you're here with me today because we are talking about probably one of the most powerful tools available to you in the energetic realm, and that is forgiveness. However, with anything, if you don't know how to use it properly or how to access it in the way that it was designed to be accessed, you can find yourself getting in real snarled up knots of energy, balled up with resentment or anger or just feeling abused. So we always want to understand why we should do something and then how we can do it effectively so that it benefits us and anyone around us. So the best way we can do that is go to our guides who are beings of unconditional love in the energetic realm who are so desirous of helping us understand all of the power that is ours with this gift of forgiveness. Remember, God is a loving God, an unconditionally loving God. So that means there aren't any tricks. The ego likes to trick. The ego likes to put in little things that may trip us up or make us feel like we're never going to get it right. It's okay. It helps us grow. But when it is from source, it will be unconditionally loving. That means you do not hurt yourself in order to help someone else. You also do not hurt someone else in an attempt to help yourself. So, the reason you don't do that is, number one, it's not kind and loving, but number two, it's just not necessary. So let's look at what forgiveness really can do for us. Dearest hearts, when we advocate for forgiveness, when we implore you to forgive everyone, no matter the size of the deceit, when we promise you that your ability to forgive determines the amount of joy, peace, love, and absolute freedom you will enjoy, so many of you run for cover. And I have to tell you, I was in that camp too. I believed when I was beginning my spiritual journey that what people were telling me to do is let people walk on you, take advantage of you, and step all over your personal boundaries. Just, you've got to let anybody do anything to you, no matter how much it hurts. So I was one of those running for cover saying, this is it. We hear you say, we've gone along with all of the other suggestions and have benefited, but now you're asking us to go a step too far. I could never forgive him, her, them, that, etc. Yes, dear ones, we feel and honor that this subject causes you panic, but we cannot honor that reaction. Forgiveness is your ticket out of the hell you built for yourselves. Forgiveness is freedom. Now, I know for an absolute certainty that when I was holding on to resentment because of something that had happened to me, perhaps because of another person, perhaps because of a situation that I had become involved in, I felt like I was in hell. I was not enjoying my life. I wasn't loving myself. I was pretending to love others and not doing it. So once I got my mind wrapped around what forgiveness really was and actively participated in the act, it allowed me to climb up into the heaven, which is where I get to live now. And absolutely every one of you can live there right alongside me. I'm not special. I am just like you. I've just been able to learn how to use the energetic realm and their help to my advantage. Yet, okay, sorry, they're telling me to correct that. I am special, and so are you. It's not that I am somehow better than you. So I get guidance all day long, and they are very quick to correct me when I say things that could have potential harm attached to them. Now, I didn't mean that I didn't believe that I was a wonderful person or special and to God. I was just trying to say, I'm not better. But I have such a strong relationship established with my guides now that they correct me whether it's going to do harm or not, just because they want me using and modeling the language that's going to be best for everyone. So when I agreed to this position as teacher, I also agreed to to have their help constantly to make sure that I was modeling what would work well for most people. Again, you all have free will, and you can choose to do that which works for you. Yet, before we can expect you to become willing participants, we realize you must understand why forgiveness is such a powerful tool and how forgiveness will gift you with freedom instead of fear or foolishness. Really take a minute to think about what they just said. Forgiveness gives you freedom. You are not foolish. You are not stepping into a place of fear. You are brilliant when you choose forgiveness. First, let us look at what forgiveness is and what it can do for you in your life. Beginning with the self, which is the energetic, mental, emotional, and physical bodies that you've assigned yourselves in this lifetime. Notice they didn't say, you are a physical body. No, you are your authentic self, the energetic body. You are your thoughts and emotions, the mental, emotional body. And you are a physical body, which is the densest of all three of the bodies. Understand that you are the first receiver of anything that you choose to generate. Again, we've really got to hear this. Anytime you think a thought or you engage with energy that you've created or that you're in the process of creating, the first one to receive the energy is you. Every thought, action, and emotion in which you take part must first be generated by your mind, pass through all of your bodies, then attempt to impact the energetic resonance of another person or thing. So, if you think, man, I am so angry at Tom. He really hurt my feelings, and he is such a horrible person, and I'm so angry with Tom. If you believe that saying that and feeling that is somehow not going to affect you, but will magically go over and affect Tom, you really have to think again. How did I sound? And I got to tell you, I was here clenching my fists. How did I sound? Certainly not relaxed and happy and joyous. I sounded angry and frustrated. And I was generating a very uncomfortable current in my body. hoping that somehow it would get to imaginary Tom. I'm saying imaginary because there are people in the world whose names are Tom, and I don't want anything going out. But you, as the generator of the thought and feeling, are guaranteed to receive the interaction with the negative vibrational product. You may feel adverse physical reactions, and people have said this to me. Remember, this is my work, so I speak with so many of you throughout the day. And they have said to me, oh, I felt like I was going to have a stroke. How is that helping resolve the issue that you may have had with imaginary Tom? You may feel these adverse reactions, rapid breathing and or heartbeat, and a rise in blood pressure, feeling as though you're almost ready to have a stroke. You may even experience a physical breakdown. What if you held on to that anger so long that you caused your own physical body to break down? Plus, you will also experience an emotional shift from a good mood into a bad mood, anger, hatred, revenge, or any other assorted negative emotions. And you will, of course, cause your energetic vibration to plummet to a place of positivity where you are attracting through law of attraction, and you cannot turn it off, so you can't stop attracting, where you are attracting and from that place of positivity all that you desire to a place of negativity where you're saying, come on, more anger, hatred, revenge, heartache, whatever. All those things you don't want. Every time you engage in any thought about the person or thing you found to be unforgivable. Now, I'm going to share a story that happened to me recently. I was in line in a public place, and it was rather a long line, and there were ladies behind me talking, and the one friend said to the other one, how are you doing now that you have ended the relationship with so-and-so? Apparently, it was quite a long relationship. So, well, I realized that I was kind of imitating a pattern that I had learned in childhood. My parents' marriage was dysfunctional, and I was repeating the same pattern. So my ears are perking up at this point. I'm thinking, wow, good for her. So proud of this woman that she recognized that she had let some dysfunction move forward in her life and that she had chosen to separate from the person. Apparently it was not a relationship that could be repaired. And I was like high-fiving her in my mind, and then she said, yes, but I just can't forgive my ex. And all of my high fives went in the toilet. She then went on at this point I stopped listening. She then went on with a long string of things of what he had done. A lot of anger, a lot of revenge in her tone. And I had to physically try to scoot forward in line and shield myself because the amount of anger and animosity that was flowing from her was beginning to affect me. And I can only imagine what it did to her if this was what she was willing to say in a public place just in the spur of the moment. So, she imprisoned herself within the energy of a low vibration, and that's what you would do as well. You would cause the law of attraction to bring more people, events that you'd be unwilling to forgive, and you'd be putting a strain on your body that may result in a physical breakdown that could lead to permanent impairment. If you've ever known someone that has had a stroke, it is not an easy recovery. If you have allowed the negativity to push you to the place where you're holding on to so much volatile energy that you feel like you're going to burst and the body chooses to have a stroke as its way out, it could be really, really difficult for you. This is the energy that's unleashed when you enter into a state of unforgiveness. Not always. No, they're correcting me again. Always. You cannot control, when you get into those low registers, you cannot control what you are producing. When you get into the high place of love, joy, and peace, you will begin learning how to control and direct the love. Although I like just being and a beacon of love, so that when I go out, it is as though I've got this huge circle around me of love, and I am sharing it with everyone with whom I come in contact with, and then it's up to them to accept it. But if I chose to just direct it at one particular person, I could do that as well, and so can you. It's important that you understand that the energy you generated with the purpose of hurting the other person may or may not ever reach the intended target. However, you will always feel the effects of your unforgiveness. With this understanding of the workings of energy, it's imperative that you now let go of all negativity as quickly as you can. You are the recipient of your own fury and fear. We wish that you may be the receiver of your own love, joy, and peace instead of any lower vibrational products. It is such a wonderful place to be in when you are generating love, joy, and peace, because it just feels like walking through a field of flowers most of the time. However, there's something very important that you need to understand about forgiveness. Forgiveness is not the same as acceptance. We are not asking you to maintain cordial relationships with those who have proven themselves to be unloving. You may choose to understand that they're operating at a level that encourages unenlightened behavior. But we're not asking you to maintain any kind of association with them. This means no negative attachments, no hard feelings, no plans of revenge, and no endless stories about what they've done to you. You are letting it all go. You are not saying, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Forgiveness, hurting others is not acceptable. We're not accepting it. We're not condoning it. We're not giving them a free pass. We are saying, I am choosing not to hang on to the energy of hurt because it will hurt me. If you think of them, the other person, or the situation, send unconditional love. Hold them in a high place and seek to release yourself from all other thoughts about the other person or situation. Be willing to let go of an unpleasant energetic exchange. By being willing to let go of an unpleasant energetic exchange, you free yourself from the dead weight of hurt, pain, and fear. I want you to picture it as though you're a ship in the harbor. When you are allowing hurt, pain, and fear, resentment, anger, blame, or shame to be part of your energetic field, it is as though you've lowered the anchor. When you let go of those emotions, it's as though you're out to sea with a perfect breeze and you are sailing free. Yet, even as we advise that you must let go of the endless loop of you don't know how badly I was hurt, we are not suggesting that you forget about the events which led up to the point which needs to be forgiven. If you just pretend everything didn't happen and you don't take a moment to learn from the situation, you may be placing yourself in a situation where that same thing will be repeated again. You always want to make sure that you learn from every situation. What did I learn? What's my gain here? So they're suggesting that we review the choices that you made that led up to the incident. It didn't just all of a sudden, boom, this person just came out of nowhere and hit me over the head. No, that's not what happened. You were making choices that led up to the incident that caused you hurt or harm. What were you hoping to gain? Was there something that you wanted? What was your desired outcome? Now, let's go back for a second. What were you hoping to gain? Don't say nothing, trying to act like you need to be innocent. We're always doing it for something. Our behavior, our actions, our movements are for a certain purpose. So what were you hoping to gain? Be honest. It may be necessary for you to reframe what it is that you want, but it's certainly okay to have desires. We're always going to have desires. So what was your desired outcome? What were you hoping to receive in return for your participation? These are all universal laws that work harmoniously. When you give, you must be open to receiving. You must stay in a state of balance. It is out of divine order for you to say, let me give everything, but I won't take anything back. That makes you quickly become unable to continue giving. Learn to stay in balance, in harmony, in divine alignment. So, review first everything you did that felt good. Leading up to this incident, when were things going well? Pay particular attention to how you felt on every level as you were doing the action, thinking the thought or feeling the emotion that felt good. You have to be honest. If you're going to lie to yourself, you can't make progress. This is not for you post it on Facebook and have open yourself up for people to make unsolicited and often unpleasant comments. Learn to do your energetic work either with a trusted counselor or a coach or just by yourself. Take a reading on a scale from 1 to 10. Allow 1 to be never again. When I did that, it felt so awful. And 10 to be absolutely. So 10 would be, I felt great the entire time I was participating in that. Measure how it felt each time you engaged in the behavior you labeled feeling good. So all of your attention now is going to be zeroing in on the feeling good, on the absolutely category. Note what you were doing. Always start with yourself. And then for others with you at the time. Now take out index cards and write something you do that makes you feel good on each card. Now, in the beginning, when you are getting used to letting go of negativity quickly so it can't come back to hurt you, these cards are going to be lifesavers. They are going to stand between you and that negative thought and help you make easy choices. So don't skip this step. Now, repeat the process, but this time, remember the things you chose to do that led to feeling bad. This is, oh my gosh, this really didn't feel good. Those are the kinds of things that you want to remember now. Rate those experiences on your scale and take a present moment energy reading as well. Where did that, when you started thinking about all of this, did it bring down your entire energetic being in this moment? If you're being honest, you will notice this period of focusing on what's wrong has placed you in the low energy or never again side of the scale. Absolutely, it is going to impact you in an uncomfortable way. This slide down into hell is what you do every time you bring up the energy of unforgiveness. The woman who was behind me in the line at the store started the conversation. Oh, I just realized it was better. And she was in not the highest place, but she was certainly in a good place, and she was being accountable. And then she nosedived into hell. And her energy changed so much that I immediately had to reinforce my shield and try to scoot away from her. And if the line hadn't started moving, I was thinking about getting out and coming back to make that purchase later. If you add payback to unforgiveness, payback is wait till I get you. The negativity doubles, and the possibility that the law of attraction will bring you more to feel bad about will multiply. Instead of staying at a low place, pull out your cards. Those are the cards you've already created, the cards that make you feel good, and read them to help you feel good once again. Do not allow yourself to stay in a negative place any longer than is absolutely necessary. So the minute you can acknowledge, look what I've done, and pull yourself out, the better you will be. Just as unforgiveness sends you into hell, forgiveness lifts you into a heavenly state. When you choose to forgive, to recognize that the other person is following their own life journey, and that journey may include enlightened choices, you'll give yourself the precious gifts of freedom and upliftment. Now let's take this a step further and hold yourself accountable for receiving the hurt. You were a part of this. You're always a part of it. You are responsible for what you allow in your vibrational field. That means you can fix it. So do the work to raise your vibration and shield yourself with unconditional love, so that the most likely people and situations you'll encounter are those who come bearing gifts of love and acceptance, as they in turn receive the same from you. By holding yourself accountable instead of leaving it to chance, you create a stable foundation for your life. You give yourself unlimited freedom, and you align with success. Nothing is better for you than to allow yourself to spend the majority of your time in the high vibration. It brings you everything. Remember, being willing to forgive doesn't mean it never happened or that you have found the behavior acceptable. No. Please, if that is what you believed forgiveness to be, please let go of that now. Being willing doesn't mean it never happened or that you have found the behavior acceptable. It simply states that which I allowed to hurt me in the past has been released. It's no longer welcome in my energetic space. I am free to live in joy. I am free to prosper. And here's the beautiful thing. When you let go of all of these negative things that are holding you back or weighing you down or keeping you small, you don't have to do anything extra in order to see a rise in your prosperity. You will automatically, just like the balloon lifts up when they throw the sandbags off, You will automatically float to a higher vantage point. And then once you've been in that vantage point for a while, if you want to rise even higher, you'll have to do more overcoming or open your heart more fully to those higher vibrations. But it's always possible. You have not been given any kind of assignment in this earthly journey that's impossible. Some of them can be challenging, but that's what we agreed to. That's what we signed up for. Compared to the energetic realm where everything is instantaneous, we thought we would love being challenged. Then we get here and we think, oh my gosh, this is harder than I thought it was. Woo, maybe it wasn't such a great idea. But it is. You grow, you grow, you grow through beautiful, wonderful challenges. So allow yourself to be challenged. Delight in the challenge. Be excited about all that you're learning and the way in which you're growing. And when you are practicing forgiveness, I want to make sure that the first person that you forgive is yourself. Please don't hold on to any kind of story that says, I am such a fool. What was I thinking? I am so stupid. Forgive yourself. You were probably, most likely, operating the best that you could with the knowledge that you had. Now you have new knowledge. Go to a higher operating level. If you choose to have the knowledge and ignore it, well, that's on you. But you will still be learning, but I still want you to forgive yourself. Just remember, forgiving never makes the statement, I agree with what was done to me, what you did, how this thing happened, whatever. It doesn't pretend that there wasn't any hurt or pain. We acknowledge the hurt or pain. We allow ourselves to say, wow, ouch, that's not something I want to repeat. If you keep sweeping it under the rug, pretend, you're never going to eliminate the charge, the negative emotional charge that's attached to it. Forgiveness says, I release all pain. I release my attachments to the negativity, the drama, and a repeat of this cycle. I'm setting myself free. I'm putting myself first. I'm taking affirmative action. If my lady in the store had said, I'm so delighted to have broken this cycle. I feel great. Yes, there was a lot of pain or there was a lot of hurt, but I feel great because I'm free. I made such a powerful choice. She would have stayed in her high place. But instead, I can't forgive what he did to me. That, ooh, boy. Down, down, down. And I could just feel the law of attraction, magnetization begin to attract to her more things like this that she was going to find unforgivable. Forgiveness directly impacts you and may or may not ever affect them. I don't know who it was that she was in a relationship with, but that person wasn't there. Her friend was there. That person wasn't there. They may never know that she was having these thoughts, and they may be off having a wonderful time while she's busy putting herself back in hell, remembering all the things that were done to her that hurt so badly. The person who has hurt you, or the circumstance that has hurt you, can prevent receiving any negativity from you by being good at shielding. It's you that's going to get the first impact. You get to decide with your free will whether you stay attached to the past or let go of your negative attachments and accept freedom. You can't do it for another person, and I couldn't do it for you. Even if you asked me to and I said yes, I wouldn't be able to. But you can do it. Forgiveness is your ticket out of hell. It's your freedom path. I want you to think of forgiveness in this way. You know, the fire and the paramedics and the police, they're called first responders here in the United States. And because they're the first to respond to any emergency. You're the first responder to your emotional product, any of your emotional output. You're putting yourself at risk, just like the rescue workers. But guess what? It's not your job. You don't have to. It's not part of your life purpose. No matter what you came here to share, emotional bombardment is not your life purpose. It's just not possible. Remember, God is only unconditional love, and that is all the divine can share with us. Before anyone else feels your anger, hatred, sadness, or rejection, you, as the Creator, feel all of it. But remember, we are supposed to be imitating God. So we've got to be creating emotional output that mirrors God and the unconditional love they shower upon us 24 hours a day. When you create these negative products, you're imprisoning yourself. But you've created the prison. No one did it for you. You're placing strain on your physical body, and it may lead to permanent physical damage, and that would be a terrible thing. Just because you were unable or unwilling, not unable, everybody is able. You were unwilling to let go. Now, don't worry, we're going to do a forgiveness meditation in a few minutes. First, let's talk to our caller as we remind ourselves that when we free ourselves from the dead weight of hurt, pain, and fear, and we let go of the drama and the endless story loop, we automatically begin attracting to ourselves what our hearts are desiring. So keep those cards handy, take a reading, and look at what you're doing to yourself with those negative emotions, that negative output. Does it feel good? And be very clear on where you're feeling it in your body. This woman in the store started this incredibly vitriolic rampage. I was getting a stomach ache. I'm sure she was as well. Now, I was able to take care of it because as soon as I realized, whoa, I have not shielded well, I let go of any of her emotional product and filled myself with unconditional love and released anything that had come in from her, from my energetic field. And immediately I felt better and back in my high place while she was continuing on, and I am sure giving herself more and more of that feeling of ick. Don't do it to yourself. You're such a beautiful product. You're so perfect just the way you are. Let go of those ugly emotions and begin spending time with the beautiful ones. Love, joy, and peace. And now we have a caller from 708. Hi there. How can we help you with forgiveness?
Well, I have a situation, and I'm dealing with someone that is passive aggressive, And it appears that they go out of their way to do that to me and in front of an audience. And last month, or this month, the beginning of the month, I just got so upset that I just had decided that's it, I'm done. And I have to say, in this month that has occurred, I have thought about them, not in a bad way or getting even or anything like that, but I kind of felt a freedom.
Fabulous.
And yeah, I did. I did feel a freedom. The problem is this person's an older person. And we don't know, any of us don't know how long we're going to be around, you know?
True.
And I don't want to set myself up to be around them to experience it again.
And I think that is a really wise choice. Now, because this is involving another individual, just tell me your initials, not your name, because we want to be careful of privacy.
So you want my initials?
Just something that I can call you.
BK.
BK? Okay. So you've got a lot of things that you're doing really, really well. So let's enhance what you're doing well. Remember, when we look at what's wrong, we look at it merely for the purpose of how to move beyond it. We don't want to spend a lot of time examining it to see how it got so snarled. That just keeps us entrenched in the energy. So what we want to do is look at the fact that you made a proactive decision, which is, gee, I really need some space. I'm not going to be able to figure this out if I keep interacting with this person on a regular basis because they've chosen to be disrespectful and make me feel uncomfortable in front of an audience. And I cannot love myself and keep placing myself in that situation. Okay. So that's great. Now, the other thing you've said is, now I realize there's potential for me to be guilty if this person should transition before I have had a chance to speak with them again. So let's look at some ways that you could interact with them and still keep yourself safe, and then we'll do a little work on actually forgiving the situation that occurred several times in the past so that you're free of the fear they're going to be able to do that to you again. Here's what happens. When you are in a state of negative interaction with someone, you're at the same level, and it's sort of like you're butting heads. Your energy is colliding, and you're both at the same plane. And so it's like you're walking down a street and you bump into each other. Once you, BK, have cleared your energy and have moved yourself up into a higher place where you're spending time feeling good, more of your time is spent feeling good than feeling bad or sad or even traumatized, you move to a different street. So the other person may be walking down street A, but you're no longer on street A. You're in this beautiful mountain pass where you're enjoying the sunshine and the fresh air. And so you're never going to bump into them energetically again. Whatever interaction you have with them will get consistently better and better. Because even though they could continue to be curmudgeon and mean-spirited, you're just not going to be available to receive it. And they can say something, and your response may be, well, that's interesting, or I'm hoping you have a lovely day. It won't register in the same way. And when you're not reacting to it, they'll get tired of doing it, and they probably, well, not always, generally people who are being engaged.
I don't think this person is a very, despite their age, this person is a very strategic person.
Okay, so then your best way of handling this is not to be available energetically. If they get great delight out of seeing other people squirm, they are in a very low vibrational place, and they enjoy that place, and you cannot engage with them in that hell. You're going to lose. They're enjoying it. You're not. You don't have any tools for that. None of us do, but some people have learned how to negotiate that kind of life. You've got to come wrapped in your cloak of pink and gold light, which is unconditional love, and swoop in, filled with unconditional love, filled with light, and just not be home for any criticism or condemning words. They can say anything they want, and it will just like rain against a window. It's not getting inside you.
Well, the only way I've managed to do that is to just not answer any phone calls, any text messages, because there's other people involved, and it would be, it's a situation of caregiving. And, now, I was I could be discarded easily. Well, when it puts a crimp in other people's style, now wait a minute. All of a sudden, I have a higher value. And you know what? I do. And maybe this person in their later years has to lose autonomy to know what they had. Because that was the whole thing, is to help this person so they can be autonomous, and have their independence. And it was just, it wasn't, not that you want to be saint, and I'm not saying that at all. It was just a horrendous situation. It was belittlement in front of other people, and the minute we got a little bit better, then it was like I don't want you around. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And it was just so hurtful.
I hear you, but we're going to separate this into a couple of different sections. First of all, how do you feel about helping this person? Can you feel good about that? Does that have a nice feeling to it?
Not anymore. It doesn't know.
Okay, so put that in your negative pile. You're not going to hang on to that.
Right.
How do you feel when you interact with this person?
I have no desire to.
Okay. Now let's go the opposite side. You have two negatives. Now let's go to the opposite side. Are you comfortable no longer interacting with the person? Does that feel good to you, or is there any guilt attached because of their age?
It does. That's a very difficult question, because you can always say one thing because it hasn't occurred. And the only thing that I can say, I feel better now, and I feel like I'm telling myself it's better to have your, you can't reconcile with the grave. Once the grave has occurred, then you have to deal with all that.
Okay, so let's look at that from a different perspective for just a minute, because When we open ourselves up to the energetic realm and we really begin communicating with those of us here on the physical plane and those in the energetic realm, we realize what we call death is just changing from one form to another, and the consciousness that was available is always available. So you can have a conversation with this other individual in whatever form they're occupying. It takes a little training. It takes a little getting used to, but I want to just take away any negative reason why you should be attached. So we like to say, oh, death is the end, but it's not. It's just a transition. They are now choosing to be in another form. And any conversation you had with them in the physical body, you can have with them in the energetic body. You're just, instead of using your physical mouth, now you're using your telepathic, clairvoyant, clairaudient senses that we all have, that we just have to learn to use more effectively. So you can cross guilt off your list because you know whether that person is in a physical body or whether they're in a non-physical body, you can have communication with them if you choose to. Now, here's the thing. Just because somebody transitions, doesn't mean they suddenly become a saint. So if the person chose to be belittling to you in the physical, they may continue to treat you that way moving forward. It's not a guarantee that they're going to suddenly adopt all these wonderful habits. We're growing. It's a process. We're learning. And so it's not an instant transformation back to, oh, I should have been saintly. It's a growing process. It may even require, in some cases, that we return to learn again in the physical, where we can meet with resistance and other people and engage in a way that causes friction. It's our best teacher. So you will be able to communicate with them, whether they're physically here or energetically available. So you don't have to hold open a line of communication and take the chance that you're going to be belittled unless you feel strong enough to do so, because you've been able to forgive them, you've established healthy boundaries, and you've placed yourself in a high place, and their silly little games just pass right under your feet. So while you're in this place of non-communication, here's another way. Since they are elderly, do they have a caretaker with them or some place that is administering care?
No, they choose to live by themselves.
Do they have anyone that comes in on a regular basis to check?
That would have been this person.
Gotcha. Okay, because my suggestion...
And there's two other people. Pardon?
Go ahead before I...
And there was two other people. Their work schedules and things that they're not able, and logistically speaking, they're not able to be as accessible. Okay, but the funny part about it is, and we're talking siblings, but we're not all equal. Okay. According to this person, they only have 2 children, not 3.
Okay. So they only managed to alienate you and not the others.
And use passive aggressive tactics. Correct.
Gotcha.
And let me give you a little backstory for a minute. The mother of this person did it to them.
Oh, and they were the one that was isolated. They were considered the black sheep.
Right.
That's very
and you
interesting.
know what? Isn't it though? It is very much so. And you know what? That term black sheep. You know what? I don't look at it this way. And in fact, that I was so upset that the only thing I could think of was, I am a child of the Most High God, and He is my Father.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh.
Now here, let's do a little energetic work because we're running out of time, and I want to make sure we put you in the high place. But here's what I want to leave you with.
Okay.
The one who shines the brightest is the one that receives the most negative impact while you are deciding if you're going to let your light shine. So you really need to ask yourself, BK, am I shining as brightly as I could, or am I trying to dim my light so I won't be offensive, or people won't look at me strangely, or any of those things?
Yeah. I never wanted to be more than someone else, or stand out more than someone else, or look like I had a better situation than someone from the time I was young. And I'm not young, believe me.
Okay. So you're the empath in the family, the feeler, the fixer, the one that carried the brunt of the family for this amount of time, because you came in with the greatest access to divine source, to that light.
Right.
But because you could feel what they were feeling, you felt their jealousy, their concern, their anger, their whatever, the normal things that when we're untrained, we all throw out in every direction. And you made the decision, well, I'll just be a little smaller, a little bit dimmer, a little bit less successful, and they'll feel better about themselves. But that's not your job. Your job, the thing that you chose to do, is to shine your brightest and create bridges of unconditional love into the highest realm of love, joy, and peace, so that those who were lost in the darkness could see your light, walk across your bridge of love, and find their own joy. You being sad will never make them happy. Just like you being sick can never make another person well. It's safe for you to shine bright. It's absolutely mandatory for you to shine bright. You came to be a beautiful, bright light, and it's time for you to do so. The reason they are all up in your face is because you're not being you.
Yeah, I know. And I think they realize.
Time to open the drapes and let the sun shine in and just say, hello, world, this is me. This is who I am. I am a brilliant beam of light. I came to share love. And if you don't like it, I'm going to be just fine. Because I'm not here to please you. I'm here to be me. Your free will, you can choose. Don't not choose. You can do whatever the heck you want. I'm going to be up here in my high place of love, joy, and peace with my butterflies, just flying around, having a happy time.
Mhm.
You be the light, the bridge, the beacon that beckons to other people to say, this is where love happens. So let's do some work with Archangel Michael. Let's cut the Akka cords. Those are the negative entanglements that have attached to you between this other person. Actually, you've got like 6 people in this shindig that...
Oh, I'm sure. And you know, it's funny you should say that, because, you know, I'm thinking, and I don't mean this in the way it sounds, I'm thinking, I'll fix you. I'll be so busy fixing me and doing for me that I won't. You won't even be a blop on the radar.
Amen. That's what I want for you. Get so excited about you that you don't have a minute to wonder what they're up to. They're up to whatever they choose to be up to. It doesn't impact you unless you allow it to. You get busy being the most luminescent being in the room. So let's cut the aqua cords. Let's release you from all of these anchors that are just keeping you struggling to rise up and falling back down again. And for all of those of you listening, do this as well. This is Archangel Michael helping you to cut the aqua cords. Now, before we do this, if you feel that you need private help or you want to be part of group coaching, please go to my website, marciamartinthehearthealer.com. I offer a 30-minute consultation that is absolutely free, where we spend time similar to what we've done here with BK, where we're looking at what's going on, giving you answers, and then you can choose the level of participation that works for your budget and for your needs. Some people choose to work one-on-one because they really want to do intense work. Others choose to be in a group. Still others choose just to be part of the group that gets information on a regular basis because they feel they can do it themselves. There's no one size fits all. It's the size that's right for you, and everyone is welcome as long as you're willing to do the work, because I can't do the work for you, and none of the other members of the community can do the work for you. So you will be very unhappy if you come with the idea, oh, I'll just get so-and-so to do it. Nope. So-and-so is busy doing their own work. Okay, so BK, just take a deep breath. We're going to be using heart breath, which is in through the nose. That goes immediately to the midbrain area, which is your psychic activation center, where the third eye were to join the crown. If you were to draw a juncture, it would be right there in that midbrain area. Breathing in through the nose to activate that area, to say, I am willing to receive. Down through the rainbow chute of the chakras, you are exhaling from the heart, so that from the back of the heart forward, and you are saying to the hurt, to the pain, and to the trauma, I'm ready to let go of you. I no longer need this energetic stagnation in my energetic field. I'm ready to be free. Deep breath in. Down through the chakra system to the heart. And now placing your attention on the energetic heart center, which is located right on the midline, right in the middle of the breastbone. Use the energy there to create a circle of white light. You want to work, when you do your energetic work, in a circle of white light. That is protected space. It is energetically safe. You can say and do things within this circle that don't pass the border. So if you're feeling, I'm really frustrated, I need to get it out, I need to have a safe way to express myself, go into the circle. Bring yourself into the circle and just let go. Just say exactly how you're feeling. If you want someone to talk to, you can bring an angel in. Say, I'm not yelling at you, but I need a best friend. Bring in an angel. Bring in your guardian angel. Bring in a helper angel. Help me through this. This is the kind of work that we do together when people work with me either one-on-one or in a group. It's so incredibly effective. Right now, all we're going to have time to do is cut the Aka cords, and Archangel Michael is the champion of releasing you from negative attachments. So bring yourself into the circle and tell me when you're there.
I'm there.
And now, just imagine that you see yourself, sort of the 3D version of you, and you're allowing yourself to see any cords. Some of them will be bright, glittery, golden cords. Some of them will feel like heavy octopus tentacles, like the gray, when an octopus is gray, not the cute little pink ones, but those, the pretend ones in the science fiction movies. Heavy, big, enormous cables that are going out and attaching to other people. Can you see those cords?
Yeah, they're dark and they're heavy. They're rubber-like to me.
Yep, and they're and if you were like to bounce them, they would like it feels like I can just never be rid of these. Oh, they're always attaching. They're always reattaching. So, whenever we find anything that feels really tough to deal with, we call in angelic or energetic support. The angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, they're all here to help us. And they will never refuse. Please understand, when you work in the energetic, they see you as perfect. They don't care you made a mistake. They understand you're learning. So you don't need to do mea culpa, I'm so horrible, terrible. No, just go be you. They love you. So, Archangel Michael, please assist us in cutting the cords for BK. Now, I'm going to tone the words for you on your, as I find that is God's self-adjusting light, and I find it helps me, doesn't help Archangel Michael, he's perfectly capable, but it helps me prepare for this negative energy to be released. So here we go. On you, on you, on you, on you, on you, on you, on you. Now take a deep cleansing breath. You can use heart breath. Take a look around. Are all of the negative cords gone? Have they been severed?
Yeah, I'm not feeling or seeing anything at all.
Now you probably
I could see before. I could see like a rubber-like octopus tentacles before, and I can't see them now.
Perfect. You may see cold cords that are golden. They're safe. We maintain loving relationships. Or you may just see a huge bubble that's enclosing you of pink and gold light, which is just unconditional love. So just take another deep breath. Oh, we thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping us. We thank you, all those beings in the energetic realm that love us and assist us so beautifully. We ask that you be with BK for whatever time she desires or may need you, as you are with all of us. So now, take a deep breath, come on back, and allow yourself to enjoy this new feeling of lightness. And when or if you feel compelled to have a conversation with the person, put yourself in a bubble of pink and gold light before the call. And if they get abusive, I was in a situation similar to this, and the way that I handled it was, I would say things like, when they started saying something that was very defamatory. This person liked to pick on my children. It didn't really bother me what they said about me. But I would say, I'll talk to you about anything but that. What would you like to talk about? Now, they may choose to hang up. Don't be offended. Just realize, I'm free again. Look at that. They've chosen to stay negative. I chose to go high. We can't even have a conversation, but I am completely free. I am not doing anything that is going to impact me in a negative way. I'm not doing anything that will impact them in a negative way. If they choose to be hurt, it will be their choice. Just as if you chose to be hurt, it would be your choice. So Stay in your high place. Wrap yourself and the other people in blankets of pink and gold light. Don't engage when anybody calls you, oh, BK, let me tell you what, I can't participate in that conversation. I don't talk about people. It makes me uncomfortable to have this conversation. Or here's another one, because sometimes people will give you pushback on that. Say, oh my gosh, I have to go. I didn't realize the time. And I just back away that way until they get used to, hey, she is not going to talk gossip with me. She is not going to allow me to talk badly about so-and-so or say snarky comments. And it's just retraining people, especially when you're the empath. They are used to you being the dumping ground.
Well, and you know what? It's going to be the scapegoat. And I'm not allowing you to dump your garbage in my backyard.
Good for you. Now just climb up in the high place and frame that positively. Instead of saying, I'm not going to, say, I allow my world to be filled with joy. Start saying what you do want. Just let go of what you don't want. It is not as powerful as the ability to turn it around and say what you do want. I'm delighted to talk with you about anything that feels good. What great thing is happening in your life today?
Yeah, I see. That's why, it was a good thing that I just got so upset. It was just so hurtful. I just couldn't, I felt like my heart was breaking.
Now step away from that, let it go. And
at
remember
that time. Yeah, at that time. And that's when I just thought, I am a child of the Most High God. God is my Father, and He is the only Father that I need.
Absolutely, and amen to you. Absolutely, perfectly brilliant. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for, but you were so wonderful. I'm so delighted to let you step into freedom, and I just want to make sure that the story that you rehearse going forward is the one about how you are a brilliant, beautiful, bright light. Just let go of everything else.
Okay.
All right, everyone. You're so welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. That's all the time we have. Visit me at marciamartinthehearthealer.com. There are other episodes. If you go on YouTube, marciamartinthehearthealer.com. It's always the same address. And if you would like to send me an email or correspond with me in any way, if you've got the suggestion for a topic, something that's bothering you that you'd like to understand how to fix it energetically, send me an email. Marcia, M-A-R-C-I-A, Marcia at marciamartinthehearthealer.com. As always, I am so blessed to have all of you with me. I am so grateful for all of you. And actually, that leads me into the announcement that next week we're going to be talking about gratitude. which forgiveness and gratitude are like your two power hitters in the energetic realm. So let's move into this spring time of rebirth with the best tools we can possibly have. Thank you all, and until next Sunday, I'm sending you my love.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views expressed by hosts, co-hosts, callers, guests, and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart.